Hi guys, it's Mrs. Martinez again to talk more about pre-algebra fun. Let's build an expression together. Let's follow the path of little r. Very bright fellow, doubled his wealth early in his career, and then continued to have good fortune and was able to add 1.5 to his fortunes. Then, in his generous heart, decided to give half of his money to the poor, dividing himself by 2. His final outcome, net value of 6. Now, we're going to look at how we can conclude what his original value was by going back in time. We're going to take the order of operations in reverse. Before we do this, I want to stress that if you do not respect the order of operations in solving your equations, in the same way that evaluating problems will not come out right without the order, so will solving for your variables not come out right without respecting the order of operations. It is the key to all of us getting the same answer every time. So let's do it. Let's see that the last operation, according to the order of PEMDAS, would have been this division. Now we can also look at this division bar, this fraction bar here, as a sort of wall, a parenthesis, separating all of the operations in the numerator from that division. So I want to, as we do these reverse operations, for you to intuitively see how you could pick them out with your eye, as yes, this would be the first place I would start, because the R is set apart from this division. It is the furthest operation from the R. So we're going to multiply by 2 to undo that division. You also look at this form where I'm taking the division by 2 and rewriting it as multiplying by 1/2. We see that multiplying by 2 is multiplying by its reciprocal. We know that reciprocals always evaluate to 1 when you multiply them. So this becomes 1 times 2r plus 1.5. So we're going to write this as 1, and we can just ignore this going forward as it is multiplying by the identity 1. And on this side we have simply 12. 2r plus 1.5 is the part of the story where you gained 1.5. Don't be tempted to divide by 2 first here, because you would get a very different answer than if you first subtracted out the gain of 1.5. So let's do it correctly. 2r. I'm going to write plus 1.5 and then show the loss of it, so we see that we are undoing, canceling out that gain. And this will be equal to 12 minus 1.5, which is simply 10.5. Now, 2r is the last operation that we have to look at, and it is the first operation that occurred in our story. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. So, let's divide by 2 to find out what r was originally. Before it was doubled, r was in fact 5.25. Now, for all of you cynics out there who say, well, Mrs. Martinez, my way, I think I can do it my way, heard it so many times, where I can divide first and then subtract out that 1.5. We'll just test it. If I divide in this step here by 2, I'll end up with 6 over here and then you'll be left with the 1.5 to subtract out. So then you would subtract 1.5 from 6, and what do you get for r? You would get r equal to 4.5, which is not the same as 5.25. So we see we're getting different answers. And which one is right? Well, you plug in 4.5 into this original expression here, and you certainly will not get a value of 6 at the end. So I hope this was helpful to you in understanding how to undo the operations in an expression to arrive at the original value of your variables. Practice, practice, practice now, and see you in class.